Hey, it's Meltdown here in the studio with speed painter Dave Santia. I guess is that your title, speed painter?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. So typically, how long does it take you to paint a picture?
Well, it depends on the painting, but they run on average. It takes me about from my speed paintings, it takes me about anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes.
Now, for people that haven't seen you before, so you do this mostly with music, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you use both your hands.
Yes.
Which is unbelievable. I was just watching a thing the other day, and of course, I've seen you do this live before, but
right.
let's start it back at the beginning. When did you know that you had this gift?
Well, I've been drawing and painting since I was about 7 or 8 years old, and my mom would always come home every shopping day with a pad of paper for me to draw on. And I took that pad of paper everywhere I went. I was always drawing, and when I was little, that's I never left the house without that pad of paper. And so then about I want to say about 15 years ago or so, maybe I saw this video on YouTube. Remember that TV show That's Incredible?
Yeah.
It was a clip from that show from like 1980 or 81. And they were talking about this artist named Denny Dent. And they were saying, oh, what he can do is so amazing, it's incredible, and blah, 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 and all that stuff. So then they cut to this artist, and he had the same basic setup that I have, big black canvas, paint all by his feet, brushes in each hand. They started playing Beatles music, and then he just attacks this canvas, and within seconds you can tell it's going to be a painting of John Lennon.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was amazed. He was done with the painting within minutes. And then I watched this same video again, and I watched it again, and I kind of looked up this artist a little bit, and I saw other videos of him. And I said to myself, with what I already know, I think I can figure this out. So it didn't just come right away. I had to train myself to figure out how to speed paint. There was no tutorials back then online on how to do it. I had to figure everything out, from the materials to use to what type of paint, what type of brushes, what type of canvas. And it took me a little while to train myself to be able to paint, to speed paint. Excuse me. And my first speed paintings, I remember my first one that I did. It took me about 45 minutes to do.
Not very speedy.
Yeah, exactly. And it was Michael Jackson. And it didn't quite look like Michael Jackson. Remember when the Thriller video when he was the zombie?
Yeah.
Well, it kind of looked like a monkey tried to paint that with its feet, and it just looked terrible. But then I kept at it and kept practicing, and before I knew it, I was able to do it. And like I said, it didn't come right away. It took a lot of practice and a lot of perseverance.
Well, my thing with this whole thing is how you use both hands. Are you ambidextrous?
No, a lot of people ask me that.
Yeah,
they ask me if I'm ambidextrous. They ask me if I'm dyslexic. I'm none of that stuff. The reason why I paint with two hands, if you really watch me when I'm painting with two hands, I'm really drawing it in with my right hand because I am right-handed, and then I bring in my left hand whenever I need a quote-unquote thicker brush, or I need to fill in some space or something like that. That's when the left hand comes in. And a lot of times the left hand, if I'm out of paint on my right hand, I switch brushes real quick.
Gotcha, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. For those that are watching and listening to this right now, we are in a radio station which is supposed to be silent, but there's a heating problem, so that's why we're all bundled up as well. But anyways, so then you've taken this on cruises. You've gone all over. Have you gone all over the world with your speed painting?
I've been to a couple different countries. Mostly I'm in the United States. I'm mostly here in Metro Detroit.
Yeah.
But
you've been on the Kiss cruise and stuff like that as well, right?
Yeah, I painted on the Kiss cruise, on the Kid Rock cruise. I was on the first Walking Dead cruise. I got another cruise coming up in a couple months. It's the Trailer Trash Tammy.
Oh, I know her. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing her cruise.
I don't know her. I've hung out with her. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's going to be interesting. That should be fun.
Yeah, Trailer Trash Tammy. Yeah, I'll tell you about her later on. So I just saw like you posted a picture recently. I'm trying to remember with like Bo Jackson and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You've done celebrity paintings and all
Yep.
sorts of stuff, right?
Yeah, I that was from a fundraiser that I did in Bermuda last spring, and there was a whole bunch of celebrity athletes there, a lot of Hall of Famers there. Bo Jackson was there, Spud Webb was there.
Now see Spud Webb. Now I can relate with him because he's 5'0" like me.
I had to get I don't normally get pictures with celebrities when I work with them, but I had to get one of me and Spud Webb.
Yeah, of course.
I had
how far did he go up to you? About midsection?
Yeah, something like that, like up to my elbow somewhere. And for those that don't know, I'm 6'9". I'm about 1.5 feet taller than Spud Webb, and but yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was that particular event was a nightmare and a lot of fun at the same time. Because traveling, especially when you're traveling overseas, I got to bring my equipment with me, and I got to bring it there in parts, and then I got to reassemble it when I get there. And people hear, stuff like, "Oh, you painted at an event in Bermuda or in Miami or wherever." For me, it's work.
Right.
I'm not there to sightsee. Although I will try to set aside a day to where maybe I can, do something. But yeah, I'm there, from the moment the plane lands to the moment I take off. I'm working the entire time.
Now I've seen you at obviously like Astronomicon and stuff. So over the course of a weekend at an event like that, how many pictures will you paint, or does it just kind of vary?
It varies, yeah. Like Astronomicon, I typically just do one 30-minute performance.
Okay.
And I usually do about 3 to 4 paintings within that 30 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So you just rifle them up one after the next.
Yeah. I just finish one and I bring out the next one. And so sometimes like if they give me if I get like an hour. And I'm only going to be doing 3 paintings. Then maybe I'll talk in between each painting. But that doesn't happen too often.
So obviously a big part of it is that you start painting with the picture upside down.
Yeah.
Now when did that start and why do you do that?
Well, it's kind of funny. When I first started speed painting, I paint. Now I do them all upside down. But when I first started speed painting, when I would paint at an event, I would do one upside down, and then the other 2 would be right side up.
Okay.
And then when I'd go out to these events, they would ask me, which one are you going to paint upside down? The people that hired me or the people that brought me in. And I'll ask them, which one do you want me to paint upside down? Well, at that point, people started saying, can you paint all of them upside down? So I just started painting them all upside down. And, a lot of people that have seen me before, they know the gimmick. They know that I'm painting it upside down. But a lot of time, and they know what it's going to be a painting of. Because the music that I use is always connected to what I'm painting.
I got you. Okay.
If I'm playing Jimi Hendrix music, it's going to be a painting of Hendrix, right? And a lot of people that have seen me before, they know this. And they've told me afterwards, I knew that it was going to be a painting of Jimi Hendrix, but I just didn't know how it was going to be a painting.
Right.
And they'll still tell me, I knew it was upside down, but I couldn't see how it was going to come together until you flipped it.
Well, the reason that this conversation came together today was because just recently I saw NASCAR reposted a picture you did of Dale Earnhardt Jr. or Dale Earnhardt Sr.
Right.
During the pandemic, and I thought, boy, Dave's an interesting guy. We should get him in here to talk about all of his paintings. So, what did you use a song for that one? I think they sped that one up, but
they sped that one up. I did that one, like you said, during the pandemic. At the time I was, just painting and throwing videos up for fun on social media, and one of them was of Dale Earnhardt. And I believe the music the initial song that I used, I believe was "I Can't Drive 55."
Right. Yeah, I was going to say it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that, or maybe it was
Jesus Built My Hot Rod or something. Or
no, I think what's the Motley Crue song, the one that starts off with
Kickstart My Heart.
Yeah.
It
could have been that one, but it was probably
Sammy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is there any people or paintings that have come particularly tricky for you? I'm gonna say no by that reaction.
Well, that's kind of a tricky question, to be honest. I mean, there's paintings that are easier for me to do, and there's paintings that are harder for me to do. A lot of times, people want me to paint something that sometimes might not translate well as a speed painting. Like one time, someone wanted me to, this one event, they wanted me to paint the Last Supper.
Wow, that's a lot of guys.
Exactly. I kind of couldn't do it. I mean, I could paint it, sure, but it would take me a couple hours.
Right.
And
you would need 12 canvases.
Right. and not only that, but see, with speed painting, the more stuff you put into the painting, like for instance, if I'm painting just one person in a speed painting, that's easy. But if I'm painting, the more people you add into it, the smaller their images are.
Yep.
So the tighter the detail is, and the detail just kind of has to, it gets all muddled. So it's when people ask me to do something that's a little bit difficult to happen as a speed painting in general is when things get kind of tough. Like this one person, they wanted me to paint their whole family as a speed painting, and there was six or seven people in their family.
Yeah.
And
do you always use the same size canvas?
Yeah.
I was going to say, because they look about the same size all the time.
Yeah, they're 4 by 5 feet. Every once in a while, I'll get someone that'll request me to do a painting on a smaller canvas, but it's tough for me to perform a speed painting on a smaller canvas live at an event because I'm so big. And I cover the whole canvas. You're not seeing anything.
I got you. Yeah.
Not only that, but like I said earlier, the smaller the images are, the tighter the detail is. So the smaller the canvas is, the tighter the detail, and it actually takes me longer to do.
How many events do you think you've done over the past 15 years?
Well, I actually went public with the speed painting it was in 2011, so about 13 years ago. Maybe about 50 a year.
Yeah, okay.
So probably about 5 or 600 maybe.
Wow. Anything you have to check off on your list as far as painting, or no?
What do you mean,
like any particular people, anything that you
something that I
yet?
haven't painted yet that I want to paint?
Yeah.
No, because if I want to paint something, I'll just paint it.
Just do it, right? Exactly. Well, you got an event coming up on February 3rd.
Yes.
You know about that?
Yeah, it is it's called the third annual Golden Gala Masquerade Ball. It's in Rochester Hills at the Rochester Hills Banquet Center on February 3rd, and it's a fundraiser to help the Shlama Foundation.
You'll paint one picture there?
I'm doing 3.
3, okay.
Yeah.
And do you already know, for example, for that particular event, what you'll paint, or will you kind of think about it that day?
We figure it out ahead of time.
Oh, okay. So you've already talked to the people?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't remember if we've been working on this for the past couple months.
Gotcha.
They booked me a few months ago. I don't remember if we've already decided what I'm going to paint or if we have to decide yet. I got to look at my notes at home.
Well, Dave, thanks so much for coming in here. Of course, people can see the pictures right here on the website. And sorry about the sub-degree temperatures in here.
Oh, don't worry about it. I'm born and raised in Michigan. I'm used to being in the cold.
Well, good luck to you, man. Thanks again for coming in.
Oh, thank you for having me.